Come here. This don't look like no fucking school to me.
I'm not cutting off my fucking dreads,
How much trouble you could be in if anybody finds out what you did?
I'm not going back to that fucking
You don't want to
school.
go to that fucking school, that's fine. Get you a job, okay? Because you wasn't built for CBI.
Fuck a salary, I want to score, all right?
You ain't getting a seat at the fucking table, D-Mac. As long as I'm in, you out.
As long as Tommy's alive, D-Mac is not going to have a table at CBI. D-Mac ain't built for CBI. D-Mac ain't like that. Well, I've been saying that, and we know that D-Mac is going to prove himself, or he's going to prove himself wrong to us. But either way, we here for it, and we want to see young D-Mac crash out. But it looks like Uncle Tommy ain't allowing that, even though D-Mac doesn't know what he's walking into, because at this point, what we just seen, he's in the trap. So is this Jenard's trap? Is this one of his crew? Maybe he's at Marshall's house. We don't know where D-Mac is quite yet, but we know that he's going to try to get back in the game one way or another. Well, I'm Modi J. This is the last thoughts for episode 2 of Book 4 of Force, and it looks like D-Mac is about to get into some nonsense, and he said, hell no, I don't care, I ain't cutting my hair, and I feel where D-Mac is coming from. But before we jump into this and I give my last thoughts and predictions for episode 2, if you like power content, theories, breakdowns, predictions like this, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, turn on that notification bell. Let's get this channel to 60,000 subscribers. Let's jump into these photos. This is my last thoughts for what's to come up in episode 2 of Power Book 4 Force. Claudia is starting to make moves behind the walls because she knows that everything's closing in on her, just like her brother Vic. So we seen the Flynn family go from royalty to locked up and a snitch. Claudia isn't one of those snitches though. Now she is telling Elise, and we seen in the season trailer, that she has one more play. Her and Shanti were working together, and that's where the double dip came from. But all I can see is Claudia giving out some information via Ortega, or this is what she's trying to do to prove to Ortega that she's still down for the cause. Now she could relay some information, and I think that this episode we're going to see her and Vic get back into communication. Will Vic explain that he's in some trouble over a jail phone? This is power, so I could definitely see that. But once she sees that her brother's in trouble and he actually came back for her because Vic can still run, I think she's going to try to help Vic out also, which is going to end up deadly for the Flynn family later on. We got a couple of episodes with the Flynns left. Marshall and D-Mac. We seen the exclusive clip for this week. Tommy's trying to get D-Mac out of this. Marshall, he's a hothead, and he's probably going to be in his ear. Man, you can't be letting that white boy, man, I know that's your uncle, but man, you need to be getting this bankroll. If he ain't putting you on, CBI is where it's at. And D-Mac's probably in agreement with it. D-Mac was going wherever Marshall went. Marshall was shooting things up. D-Mac was shooting things up. He done already went to Diamond. He didn't link back up with Jenard. Now, I did think that he may be in one of Jenard's traps, because I don't think Marshall is living in no trap house or anything of that nature. But if you remember last year, Tommy was already shielding D-Mac, just for the simple fact that this is his nephew and he's seen the path that Tariq went down. D-Mac is going to be hitting and knocking heads against Tommy the whole season until he gets jammed up, either shot or kidnapped, and then he's going to realize that Tommy is telling him the truth. Shanti and Elise, they got the coke on the table. They're trying to move their own little product. Now, when we hear Claudia saying she has one more chance, one more opportunity, I'm thinking she's going to tell Elise, you go meet up with Shanti. Now, her and Shanti, they already have their relationship and they were partners. So Elise is going to go over there and they're going to probably start moving a little bit of work they do have. Now, Shanti has a plan already in play with Jenard to get D-Mac, hold him as ransom for King Kilo to take out Tommy and Diamond. So Shanti and Claudia, they're going to try to build their rep. Maybe Shanti goes behind Tommy's back and is working with Ortega. Maybe she's getting work from somewhere else via what Claudia had told Elise to tell her. But Elise and Claudia, yeah, they love each other, but I don't think the relationship between Shanti and Elise is going to work out, because Shanti's going to be looking at her as a girl that's inexperienced, even though Elise has a little foot in the game. The death of Tommy would be Mireya. We know he's going to skate out of this. Now, what I have been looking at is the war between Miguel and Tommy, this brother-in-law rivalry. We've all been looking in the wrong direction, I'm thinking. Yeah, we were thinking maybe Miguel is going to get taken out, but I think Mireya is going to get taken out in some crossfire incidentally by either Tommy or more than likely her brother Miguel, and that's going to kind of squash the beef between Tommy and Miguel temporarily. Now, Mireya, she doesn't want anything to do with the dope game. She knows that Tommy isn't scared of Miguel, and that's what she's attracted to. Tommy just wants her and to stay the biggest dope dealer in the game. Unfortunately, you got to get to Che, and that person in the way is Miguel. So maybe Mireya getting taken out later on in the season will work, but as of right now, she's going to be that piece, that battery in Tommy's back to keep him level-headed. Tommy and Diamond, this is going to be interesting. Diamond is listening to his brother. Diamond is stepping up to Tommy, and I commend him for that because most of the time he really doesn't do anything. Now, Tommy needs to watch his back. I do believe that Diamond does have some loyalty to him, but we're going to start to see a little bit of divide until he realizes that Jenard was playing him. So the D-Mac situation, I could see Jenard holding off on that just because Diamond wants to make sure the situation is either good or bad with Tommy. But Tommy is going to have to definitely watch his back when it comes to Diamond, because if Jenard continues to get in his ear and make him believe that Tommy is screwing him over, Tommy's messing with Mireya, which is going to mess up the dope, then Diamond could go out there and do some wild stuff. I don't think he will. I think he will actually talk to Tommy before it gets to that level, but that's definitely something that we got to watch. It looks like Tommy's going to be meeting up with CBI. We know that Diamond is there. We know that Jenard is there. Jenard's trying to wipe off his brother and Tommy, but this is more like Tommy is, okay, CBI, y'all wanted to do it. We big time. We need to start finding more connects. They went to the Albanians. That didn't work, but I think that'll come back later on because they wouldn't have introduced us for no reason. We're going straight up with the cartel, Miguel's crew. So if y'all really like that, then let's do it. Let's get boots on the ground. Let's get out here and make something shake. We got the guy in the back that we're torturing, asking where his boss is. We're going to be torturing Vic this week, telling him to throw off the feds. So Tommy, he has a plan, but remember, he doesn't have an actual crew of his own. So everybody is basically a contract drug dealer for Tommy. There's no loyalty. So Tommy has to come in here, assert his dominance. And I think CBI, they may clash a little bit with Miguel, not to the point where there's a full-out war, because they all work up under Che. Vic will have a new love interest. I don't know how it plays out, and we don't know exactly where she came from. She could be fed. She could be part of one of the cartels or the different organizations. But Vic is a known snitch. Vic is an on-the-run snitch / worker for Tommy / do whatever he can to survive. So it's going to be tough for him in this episode, especially with Tommy and Diamond harassing him, telling him to go tell the feds this, and then working for the feds and trying to provide them information. So again, Vic's whole storyline is going to be survival mode the whole season. Will he get in the way? Yes. Will he prevent something from happening? Yes. I think something big will happen that Vic is going to be involved in, and he's probably going to be the one to prevent it or mess it up. Either way, Vic is going to be involved in something, and it's just going to be getting built up. And he might tell the feds about something that really is going on, but I think Tommy is going to be using that as a decoy to throw them off. All right, there you go. My last thoughts for episode 2 of Book 4 of Force. Let me know what your predictions are for this episode. Who is going to make the biggest mistake, and who's going to catch some bodies this episode? Because you know we need them. We had 5 in the first episode. Well, 6 technically because Mirkovich. But let me know what you think. How many bodies are going to drop? Who's going to be the body dropper? And who ain't going to make it out of this? Let me know what you think. I'm Mo.J. Let's get this channel to 60,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Thanks for watching. I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.